else out there?
Yeah, well, obviously, oh, look at this section. Is this Tyler?
Oh,
Little snap to finish. And, oh, unfortunately, didn't ride out of that one. What was he chasing?
I think he would have got that if he had have stuck that last turn. It was a 5.11. I'm not sure if there's 5 points in
Mm,
that
no.
jam. It was stylish.
And here we see Shane. We're just wrapping up, so we'll wait for the final results of that, see what Tyler's last wave did, but we'll give you the final totals right after this. But we do know Matt Gale has gone through to the next round, and we'll be back with Heat 7, Round 1 of the Australian Open of Surfing, Far South Coast Open, right after this break.
Hi, my name's Freya Prum. I'm from Merimbula. My three favourite things to do on the far south coast are checking out the animals at Mogo Zoo, swimming with the seals at Montague Island, and checking out Glasshouse Rocks at Narooma Surf Beach.
I'll be around. There you go. Day in the life of Freya Prum. Of course, Freya lives on the far south coast. Born and bred Merimbula girl. Here we are live from Narooma for the Australian Open of Surfing Heat 7 out in the water at the moment. We've got Chad Elkins, Dave Perry, Matt Driscoll, and Tommy Driscoll. And we've got the winner of the last heat down there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got ya.
Yeah. So, like out there, then you got that little air to finish, and that made a bit of a difference. But tricky conditions out there with that wind.
Yeah, it's real small and sloppy and onshore. I was actually considering jumping in the car and driving home, but
Oh, come on. Come on, Matt,
yeah,
you can't do that.
it was actually kind of better than it looks, I think. Anyway.
Well, you found a couple of sections, I mean, and then yeah, you had a pretty healthy lead. Then you threw, not healthy lead, but when you threw in that front side air, it made the difference. And Shane Werner made a bit of a comeback towards the heat. Did you feel comfortable you were going to progress?
No, not really, but I did enough, so it's all right. Can't complain.
Well, as you said, it looks worse than it is, but just how difficult is it to find a wave that gives you some opportunity?
Very. You just got to paddle for anything.
Yeah, so it's
Might
just
wall up, it might not.
yeah, so it's just the luck of the draw, really. Just
Yeah.
So that would be your strategy in the next round, just getting out there again and just catching as many waves as you can, kind of.
Yeah, I think the forecast says it's meant to pick up with a bit of nor'east wind swell, so it might be a little bit bigger. I don't know.
Yeah, well, the forecast is for that and cleaner conditions tomorrow. So the go today is to get through this round because we should have better condition, or get through today. We should have better surf tomorrow morning.
Sweet, that's good.
Yeah, well, there you go, Matt. Well, thanks for that, and congratulations on getting through. I know you're relieved in these conditions, and all the best in the next round.
Thank you.
So there you go. It's Matt Gale there winning the last heat. Out there now, we've got Chad Elkins. Looks like he's locked in. Probably a decent score. Matt Driscoll in the yellow with a 1.5. Tommy Driscoll with a 1. And Surfing White yet to take off. So Chad Elkins with 2 ways. And look at this section.
Whoa, that's best way that's come through all day.
Oh, Dave Perry gets hung up. So, yeah, some bigger peaks starting to rear up. As our previous heat winner said, it is forecast to pick up a little bit with this northeast wind. And it's like yellow throwing down. Quick snap and
Whoa.
finishing off there. So Matt Driscoll finding something decent.
Yeah, well, I think conditions are maybe getting a little bit better since we checked since the last few heats, Reggae, or am
Yeah,
I?
no, they are picking up a little bit. It's pushing through. And, yeah, there's, it's still pretty junky out there. This northeast wind forecast to howl through at about 20 to 30 knots all day. It looks like it's even stronger out to sea. We've got a high tide at 12 minutes past 12 this afternoon. It's a pretty big one too, 1.7 metre high.
Wow.
And I think low was like 0.8 of a metre, so it might put a fair bit of water on
Wow.
this. Oh, big coffee here.
Big coffee.
Yeah, so triple shot. All right, thank you. Anyway, so
Viva the legend.
15, Bibba the legend, that's right.
Coffee. I've already had my coffee this morning. Can't have another one. Be bouncing off the walls.
No, you can't do that. You'll upset the commentary booth, tip it over,
Yeah.
you know. No dancing in the commentary booth, that's the rule.
We have to have a dance party once all these events are over.
Oh,
All
right.
commentary
In
team
here,
come
in the fresh air. Well, I reckon this fresh air truck could turn into a small nightclub, seedy nightclub pretty easily. You know, look, it's all padded, black walls, soundproof.
Yeah.
Put some fluoro lights on the roof.
Look out. Get a little disco ball and we'll be
Yeah.
set.
That's right. Okay, well, we've got, not much going on out there at the moment. Surfers just trying to look and try and find. I'm having trouble getting on the internet with the
Oh, really? I'll see if I
live
can.
heats. But Chad Elkins there, he had that one good score. I think he's locked in probably a high 4 or a low 5. And with just on 13.5 minutes remaining, because we're running all of round 1 of the men's. So we got 2 heats of round 1 of the women's, I think. And then we'll go back into round 2 of the men's, which will take us through to 18 heats today.
Yep.
You are not going to run the quarterfinals of the women's, which were originally on the schedule.
Yes.
Hold those off till tomorrow when we are anticipating better conditions. And we do have plenty of time tomorrow. Originally, we're going to finish about midday, and then we'd just be all hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to do on a Sunday, Arvo?
Drive home.
A lot of people will be doing the 7-hour drive back to Sydney. You know there's a
Yeah.
quicker way to go than the Princess Highway.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
See, we came through Nowra.
Yeah.
It took forever with all those roadworks.
Yeah, avoid it. The best way, I reckon, is you head inland to the M5 towards
Yeah.
Canberra. You go like Batemans Bay, Braidwood, M5, 2.5 hours to Sydney. No, 3 hours to Sydney from there. Yeah, it's way quicker.
Interesting.
Yeah, and even it's the same.
Might
you
have
don't-
to do
and
that.
a Sunday afternoon through those roadworks and the Berry,
Oh,
going around Berry, it is a nightmare
yeah.
to be avoided at all costs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dad, I hope you're watching. Did you hear that?
He's the desert. He's driving.
Yeah, he's a deso.
Yeah, I'll let him know.
Yeah.
It's all good. Okay, well, not much going on. We saw that earlier flurry. Still waiting on the next scores to come through, as it looks like Surfer in Blue, Tommy Driscoll, that wave just shuts down, unfortunately.
Looks like brothers in this heat. Matt Driscoll and Tommy Driscoll. Head to head.
We've had a few dual surnames in the heats. We're presuming they're brothers.
Yeah.
The Davies brothers earlier on. So, yeah.
I've got
hopefully-
my sister in my heat too.
Oh, your sister. Ooh.
Yeah.
What do you do, you know?
I haven't surfed a heat with Jessie in a very long time.
She's pretty hard to so she snakes a bit, I heard.
Oh, yeah. Snake, she
What's
drops.
your dad going to do? Who's he going to go for?
Oh, God.
Whoever
he'll-
gets through.
Yeah. Whoever gets through, he'll be like, all right, you get all my attention.
And if whoever bombs out has to pay for lunch.
Oh, we should do that.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair move. I think that's more than fair.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, brothers taking on in this one, Chad Elkins sitting out in front, Matt Driscoll in second, Dave Perry sitting in third, and Tommy Driscoll is in fourth. My live heats is taking a little bit of time to load, so
No. We might have to get a monitor going, I think. And just on the 11-minute mark. So 4 surfers out there. This wind swell still pushing through. It's gone a little bit quieter in this heat. We saw some solid sets in the last. Well, solid. I mean,
Decent.
2-footers. A little bit bigger, and one at the start. Looks like no takeoff there again. As Chad Elkins, Matt Driscoll, and Dave Perry, Tommy Driscoll, all hanging out there waiting for another wave.
Well, there's 10.5 minutes in this one. We saw a 10-minute heat fly by just before with Harry Phillips and Jared Sezel in that one. So beware of walkthroughs, I feel, throughout this event. The waves are kind of okay. We just heard Matt Gale was the previous heat winner, and he was like, I was going to get in the car and drive home. So hopefully no one else does that.
Yeah. No. Well, you
It'll
can
be
kind of
good
think
tomorrow.
if you drove up looking for surf, you just would have done a U-turn and gone somewhere else trying to find,
Yeah.
But this is what we've got here today, and the surfers making the most of it. And we'll give you an update on the scores as soon as we get them through. At this stage, we're in a bit of a slow pace with the internet.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get it. Anyone at home that's wanting to see a breakdown of the scores, just head over to liveheats.com. And you can actually see all the scores and all the breakdowns, what the surfers are needing. So yeah, my live heats are still not working as yet. So hopefully it loads up fairly shortly as we see the surfer in white, Dave Perry, up and riding on this one. Just one carve. So he's looking for a score to move up into second spot and take that off the surfer in yellow, Matt Driscoll. We've got just over 9 minutes remaining. So this heat is flying by. Reggae, have you had a look at the new format for the WSL?
I haven't had a close look yet, no, but I know they've announced the dates, haven't they?
Yeah, it
And the
starts
locations.
starts up in February.
Feb.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So-
that's the regional qualifying series.
Yes. So that starts in Feb. I think it's like Feb to March is going to be really busy as we see current heat leader Chad Elkins found a gem. Unfortunately, just coming unglued on that one. So maybe pushing it a little bit too hard. Got a bit excited potentially. If he had to finish that one, he would have got a pretty good score to come through. So
Yeah, well, prior to that, he had a 3.07 as his second scoring wave. He was holding a 5.83. Matt Driscoll with a 1.5 and a 5.67. Oh, we've got a bit of a monitor issue. But, and Tommy Driscoll holding down the total of 3.73. He needs a 4 point. Oh, so it's just changed. So Dave Perry's just jumped up into second. So Tommy Driscoll and Matt Driscoll both in, well, they're currently in third and fourth. Matt Driscoll needing a 2.37 to move into second, while Tommy Driscoll needs a 5.31. And there's just on 7.5 minutes remaining. Surfers just chasing down those waves, but that Chad Elkins with a 6.3 on his last wave has extended his lead. So Surfer in red has moved forward a little bit further. As you said, he fell on that last turn the previous wave, I think, so he could have been sitting at a higher score, but
yeah,
he's doing all right given these conditions and hanging in there at first place at the moment with his Dave Perry. Only needs a 5.54, so keep your eye on the surfer in white. Well, looks like here goes Chad again.
Yeah, he's really making the most of these waves. He's looking really light on his feet, super sparky, so he's probably gone into maybe potentially preheat plan. He's like, okay, I'm going to look energetic, I'm going to feel light on my feet, I'm going to just make the most of the waves. If there's a section, just make the most of it, which I think is a really good heat strategy coming up into round 1 and round 2 of the Open Men's, especially with the conditions as tricky as they are. We saw him get a 6.3, as you said, Reggae, on that last one. I feel like if he had have maybe dialed that turn that he fell on back a little bit and just got the finish and connected that, probably could have been looking at a 7.5,
Yeah.
maybe an 8. I didn't see the start of that wave, so Chad Elkins could have capitalised and gotten a bigger score, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty more waves to come through in this heat with 6 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, still plenty of time. 20-minute heats, of course. So Chad Elkins and Dave Perry looking to hold on those positions, but Matt Driscoll not far behind at the moment. So these small waves, reasonably consistent, but the big question is opportunities. You heard the winner of the last heat, so, well, just got to go out and then catch waves. And
Yeah.
as you said, True, they're going to be your tactics as well.
Yeah.
And just hope something turns into something.
Yeah, you just kind of got to go out there with your eyes on the prize. As we see Dave Perry sitting in second, connecting that one all the way through, maybe even get a little inside connection. I actually think he will. This could be
Yeah.
a good one, and finishes that one off, and maybe,
Yeah.
he gets another one. So on the sand, so Dave Perry locking in another scoring ride. So Chad Elkins out in front, Dave Perry in the white in second, Matt Driscoll sitting in third, chasing a score, as well as brother Tommy Driscoll sitting in fourth. We've got 5 minutes, 26 seconds remaining in this one. We will see the last heat of the men's come up next, featuring in the red Matty Job, in the white Matt Hoare, in the yellow is Kane Dool, and in the blue Charlie Brophy. So Charlie Brophy's actually from Ulladulla, and I went to an event with like the Northie, a few of the Northie crew, and Charlie was there with his mum, and it was the best event. He's such a nice guy, and I saw him this morning for the first time in like maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey True, hey Jess." I'm
You
like,
remembered?
"Charlie, oh my gosh," So it's kind
Charlie, you've grown.
Yes.
How tall you are.
seriously, True, you have not.
All right, just under 4 minutes remaining. So Dave Perry has moved into the lead courtesy of that last wave. He was only chasing a 5.4 prior to catching it, and he ended up getting a 7.1. So good score there for Dave Perry. Had that nice connection, and he surfed that wave really well to take it all the way through. A couple of really sharp, crisp backhand turns before he had that connection to finish off on the inside, True. So, yeah, good solid score.
Yep.
Just on 4 minutes remaining in this heat. Dave Perry, Chad Elkins, they have been definitely picking the right waves, and they're surfing quite well. So making Matt Driscoll and Tommy Driscoll, they're going to have to work for it. Matt Driscoll, well, he's got that 5.67. He now needs a 6.47. So, yeah, Matt Driscoll, that two-wave total, is still holding his first wave. A 1.5 is one of his scoring rides, and that not a good position to be in regardless of the conditions. And Tommy Driscoll, not having any luck out there with a 1 and a 2.73. Here goes Matt now, a little floater. If he can get around this section, might stand up on the inside, trying to get some speed, throws it up in the lip. Room for one more. Quick snap to finish, so that could put some pressure on Chad Elkins. Looking for a 6.47, but he'll probably reduce that deficit, but just whether or not he's got enough time with only 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this heat.
Yeah, well, you'd think that Tommy Driscoll's sitting out in with first priorities. We see him take off on this one, so natural and a goofy footer for the brothers. So we see Tommy tagging away on this one. He's looking for a 9.41, so potentially trying to just lower that requirement for the surfer in blue. So he's like, okay, got to get my feet in the wax. But it could be a 3-minute heat for Tommy Driscoll.
Yeah, well, that's why he's going to have to approach it with this clock is winding down very quickly. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Dave Perry and Chad Elkins still waiting that last score of Matt Driscoll, I think. Or has that been locked in? No, it has been locked in. 4.23. So he now needs he still needs that 6.47 to do it in one wave. So Matt Driscoll, he needs to better that 5.67 to reduce the deficit. Didn't do it on that last wave, so still looking for that solid score. And he goes Tommy Driscoll again, in and out. And his last wave was a 2.2. Improved his situation, well, his wave total, but his situation still remains the same. Needing a 9.41, so a huge ask for Tommy Driscoll with just 2 minutes remaining in this heat. Dave Perry and Chad Elkins holding the lead with a couple of decent two-wave totals there. And Matt Driscoll chasing down that high 6 to overtake Chad in the final 2 minutes of the heat.
Yeah, tricky conditions out there. I feel like Dave Perry and Chad have kind of done the right thing in the sense that they've just been continually catching waves, making the most of the waves that they've been on. And I feel like the more waves you're on, the more waves you catch. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like the more you turn waves, the more in rhythm you get, as long as you're turning on good waves and being, my dad calls it busy good.
Yeah.
So I think out there, especially with these conditions, it's so important.
Yeah, well, we've seen probably that's the strategy the Heat winners have been taking.
Mm.
And here we see Chad Elkins, who's currently in second. Nice snap off that first turn, looking to build some speed, a little bit of momentum carrying him across towards the shore break. But this wave just a flat bit of foam running towards the shore and not much in it with him. I doubt whether that will go into his top two. So Chad Elkins with heading back out just on 50 seconds remaining. Will he have another opportunity? I don't think so, but you never know. It's a quick paddle out.
Yes, it's a very quick paddle out. We saw Geordie Lawler in his heat paddled out with like 2 minutes to go, I think. And he's just running down. I was like, oh, Geordie's just going out now. And it was such a quick paddle out. The rip just takes you straight out. So this wave kind of reminds me the setup of Iluka and Deba I was saying earlier. And yesterday afternoon it was really completely different to this, but really, really fun. So I was kind of hoping we'd turn up this morning and it be the same, but unfortunately that wind kind of came through maybe at about 6:30, 7 o'clock this morning, so it made things a little bit trickier, but still definitely contestable.
Yeah, it came up early, the northeasterly today.
Yeah.
And there you go. So that heat has finished. Dave Perry and Chad Elkins holding on to move through to the next round. A good solid win there for Dave Perry. And we'll be back with Heat 8, Round 1 of the Australian Open of Surfing Far South Coast Open right after this break.
Say yeah to more power with the Amarok V6. Yeah. And get your first 3 repayments on us.
Volkswagen.
Yes, time to love Eurobodalla. We are loving Eurobodalla. That's where we are right now in Narooma for the Australian Open of Surfing Far South Coast Open. And out there right now, we've got Heat 8 of Round 1 of the men's. Matt Hall, local surfer. I think he's president of the Board Riders Club, actually.
Yeah.
With a 6.9. Charlie Barofi with a 5. And Matt's in the white, Charlie in the blue. Matty Job wearing the red. And Kane Dowell in the yellow. Matty Job doing the job on this one.
Whoa. This one might even stand up. He might get a couple bonus sections. Boggy a little bit of rail on that one. So he kicks out of there. So Matty Job locking in his first scoring ride. We saw 2 good scores from Matt Hoare, a 6.90 and Charlie Brophy, a 5-point ride. So 2 good scores for the start of this heat. Potentially better conditions.
Yeah, for Matt Hall, that's a huge score, opening to get that in the first 2 minutes of the heat as well. So, you got the wildcard entry, local wildcard. Yeah. Well, local board riders, he's the boss.
Yeah.
Got to play the game.
Oh, totally.
But, 6.9, so there you go. It wasn't like it was just something to do.
Yeah. First and Matty Job locked in at a 4.83. So, tight, exciting start to this heat.
Yeah, very.
So Kane Dewell will be sitting out there with first priority in the yellow. So he's looking to open up his first wave in this heat. We've got just on 17 minutes and 18 seconds remaining. This is the Australian Open of Surfing Far South Coast Open presented by Mental Health 360. So we were talking before, and they have partnered with a couple of really amazing mental health brands. Man Anchor, Rise Foundation, Batir, Waves of Wellness, as well as I think potentially Good Human Factory could be coming on board with that. Mental health has been discussed openly by many people, including our surfers, I guess, just during this time. Everyone's kind of, taken a step back and, really needed to reconnect with friends and family. So we've got down there, the previous heat winner, Dave Perry. Congratulations, Dave. You were connecting quite a few dots out there. Tell me about the conditions.
Oh, it's less than ideal, but we got a couple.
Yeah, it looks pretty tricky, but you managed to drop a pretty good heat total of 13.77, getting a 7.17 on your last wave. So talk to me about that one.
Oh, luck of the draw. Like, I think I was sitting in like third priority and wasn't really worrying about everybody else. I just snuck one on the inside and luckily got it the whole way to the sand.
Yeah, and I was like, that wave kind of just kept opening up for you and you kept getting a couple of bonus sections, so I was kind of stoked on that one for you. You're coming into round 2 later on in the day. What are your plans and thoughts for that one?
Just chill around. We've got a heap of the boys from Ulladulla and the Bay as well, so good vibes, drink some water, try not to hurt myself.
And Dave, just before you go, like you had 2 decent scores at 6.6 on your third wave. So other than your 2 waves, you had throwaways. I don't even think you broke the 2-point thing on any other waves. How difficult is it to find those waves, and is it just seriously just luck?
I think it's just luck.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be patient, stay busy is one of the mottos from Ulladulla. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Be patient, stay busy.
Yeah, it's a bit of an oxymoron, but it seems to work.
Seems to work. Well, did the job out there, Dave, and you're surfing really sharp. And Chris, they look really good. That little lefty, or that right to turn to the left, made the big difference on that 7. And yeah, good to see you, and all the best in the next round.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
See ya.
Yeah, Dave Perry. Yeah, I mean, just it all takes 2 waves, you know. They always say that. But yeah, I was just looking at his scores, and yeah, just 3 ones and then a couple of decent waves and made the difference. But yeah, he surfed really well. So out there now, well, it looks like Charlie Brophy and Matt Hoare have just also locked in second waves.
Yeah, Charlie's was a 3.50, Matt Hoare locking in a 1.40. Kane Dool opening up his account with a 2.17. So we've got 14.5 minutes remaining in this one, Reggae. So pretty good scores locking in for the start of the heat. Pretty busy, I feel like the boys have been. Like, there's been 6 waves that have come through, and maybe about 3 of them have been average scoring rides. So hopefully the end of this heat we can see a couple of good ones come through. Up next, of course, we will see the Open Women's round 1 in the red, Casey Hargreaves, in the white, Arabella Tapi, and in the yellow is Crystal Davies. So Open Women's round 1, there's only 2 heats, and then we'll go straight into Open Men's round 2.
Yep, so busy afternoon coming up here this Arvo, and we are seeing a few sets come through a little bit more consistently. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but with that, we've seen the last couple of heats. Some decent scores have been locked in by our surfers. The heat winners, you know, even as you've seen here, Matt Hoare with a 6.9 in his opening ride. So the waves are out there. A few 7s and 8s being locked in today, and hopefully that will continue. There's the overview, as you can see, just to the north of the breakwall here at Narooma. And yeah, this corner gets some nice punchy little waves. As you said, it is reminiscent of Iluka and D-Bar.
Yeah.
Really protected in a southerly airstream, obviously.
Yes.
And there's that beautiful inlet. Just the other side of the breakwall behind us here, there's a little inlet where nice and safe swimming. It's very popular for the kiddies, apparently. Yeah.
Well, I've never been down here before, so we were kind of yesterday adventuring a little bit, and it was really, like, I didn't realize how raw and untouched it is down here, and it's actually quite magical how amazing, you know, you go from trees into cute little towns into beautiful bright blue ocean water, and then you go back into a really nice little town and then more trees, and it's just so I don't know, I love coming down south because you don't get that up in Sydney, and I think it's quite stunning. I love it down here.
Yeah, no, it's a magical part of the world, without a doubt, the Eurobadallo Shire. Yeah, then it morphs into the Sapphire Coast, which is sort of the Merimbula, Pambula area. Yep. Beautiful part of the world as well. And then, you know, Eden's the town further south, which is pretty big town, big fishing port. Used to be a whaling port, actually. They used to have cruise boats heading there.
Really?
Yeah, not at the moment, of course.
Yeah.
Who'd go on a cruise? But but yeah, they dock there, and there's fishing and ab diving. Then you drop down south into Victoria, and the next place is Malakuta. Some waves around there as well, but the Malakuta boys would not be happy with me talking about that.
Nope.
As we see Matt Hoare, 2 good turns on the outside and looking for this connection. And he's found a little snap. Powerful turn. So Matt Hall just dropping the back foot there and looking to get back into first place. 11.5 minutes remaining in this Heat 8. And yeah, there you go. Matt going to lock in 3.4 for that, and he moves back into first place. So he would have surfed this place 1,000 times in his life, of course. Dalmini board riders. As you see Kane now in the yellow, not having much luck. Kane Dow looking for a second scoring wave. He's just got that 2.17. Now he's going to add probably just a 1. And Matty Job looks sharp on his first wave.
Yeah.
It's been pretty quiet since. 4.83 as we see Charlie Brophy. Big swooping cutback. Little section ahead of him. Yeah, snapped. Might get one more turn in to finish. I think he will.
Yeah.
There you go. So
He's gone. Oh, he's not. He's out there in boardies and a vest.
he is out there in board. I think Matt Hawes in board shorts as well.
Oh my goodness.
You and Sir, how cold is the water?
It's not warm.
No, not warm.
I think for a heat that would be okay, but
Yeah, because
pretty
usually
fresh.
yeah, it stays cold. I surf in boardies down here in like Feb, March, even sometimes in April, because it's always warmer.
Yeah.
In autumn, that's the water temp can hang around 21, 22 degrees down here, but in winter it is freezing.
Yeah.
In October, really cold. I went for a surf. When was it? Yeah, it would have been October. The first time after winter, and down south of here, it was so cold, full ice cream headaches.
Oh, yeah.
You
Ugh. In Narrabeen, we have like the lake water, and whenever the lake's open, it brings
Yep.
the coldest water, and you're literally trying to just keep your fingertips in the water. You're just paddling, and you're just going, I really don't want to have to duck dive. Please don't break
Yeah.
on my head. And then you're scratching to get over waves and not duck dive because it's so cold. But it's starting to warm up a little bit now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, out there yesterday, it's about 18, 19 degrees? Not too
Yeah.
bad.
Yesterday afternoon was quite nice, actually.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so just in the back half of this heat now, 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Looks like Charlie Brophy has moved a little bit further ahead, maybe. That
Yeah.
last wave, just at 5.93. No, it's still situated the same. So Matt Hall, last one was a 3.4. Still waiting to see Matty Job get a second wave. He had that 4.83 in his open, and that's all he's caught. Here he goes, right on schedule. Thank you, Matty. Nice snap. And again, little snap. Looking good in those sections. So
Yeah.
really nice style, and just finishing off there. So Matty Job, well, prior to that, he was needing a 5.48. But with Matt Hoare still holding that 3.4 as his second wave, he can improve his situation very quickly. Only needs a 4.04 to move into first. But there he goes. Matty Job jumped all the way from third to first with that 6.23 in his last wave. So that's really spiced things up in this heat. Kane Dale needs to catch up really tight for the top three, though. Matty Job, Charlie Brophy and Matt Hoare. Matt Hoare only needs a 4.04 to move into second. Charlie Brophy needing a 5.14 to move into first. 8 minutes remaining. You can see the wind relentless, staying with us all day.
Matty Job, he's going, I need a situation.
Well,
Beach commentary.
Your situation, it'd be hard for them to hear out there. The
Yeah.
wind's just howling straight. I'm sure the speakers are right into the wind as we see Kane Dale having a look at this, but no takeoff.
So Matty Job out in front, as you said, 4.83 and a 6.23 to his name. Charlie Brophy has a 5-point ride and a 5.93. Looking for a 5.14 if he wants to take the lead. Matty Hawes dropped down into third. He's got a 6.90 and a 3.4. He's only looking for a 4.04 to progress through this heat. So Charlie Brophy has Matty Hall hot on his heels, and Kane Dool is sitting in fourth. He has a 2.17 and a 2.50. Looking for a big number, an 8.44 to progress through this heat. We've got 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this one. So a couple more waves to lock in. Matty Hoare is closest to getting the score. He's sitting in third, needing a small score of a 4.04. So we'll have to see if he can get the wave to really open up on.
Yeah, we've still got the singles. His first wave, that's 6.9, still the highest single wave score of the heat. So since then, Matt just hadn't been able to capitalise on that, still holding that 3.4 as his second wave. Still plenty of time, though.
Yeah.
6.5 minutes remaining, surfing under the 4 surfer priority system. We'd actually aren't sure who's got priority. We can sort of guess on
You'd
who's
think-
been catching waves, you know.
I'd say Matt Hall would have priority.
Yeah. Well, if he does, he's probably happy. This little set approaching, a little bit junky,
Paddle a
don't
bit
take off.
wide.
Yeah, it's sort of backed right off a little bit.
Oh, that would have been a good one if they were a bit deeper.
And nothing standing up at the moment. Kane Dowell having a little look, but just moving inside a bit. So 6 minutes remaining. Matty Job and Charlie Brophy in first and second. Matt Hoare just looking for a 4.04 to move to first. We think he may have priority. Surfer in red, Matty Job with a throwaway on his last wave. And Charlie Brophy. Well, Charlie's holding a 5-point right is his second scoring wave, so he can improve his situation. So still plenty of room for positional changes in the final 5 minutes of this heat, as we've got exactly 5.5 minutes to go at the moment. Matty Job, Charlie Brophy holding down first and second.
Yeah, well, event is actually proudly brought to you by Mental Health, the 360 program. So Surfing New South Wales have partnered with Man Anchor, Rise Foundation, Batyr and Waves of Wellness to support our surfers throughout our network in these hard times. So for those of you that don't know what Batyr is, Batyr provide high school students with talks and free Batyr at school programs, and aims to engage, as we see red, Matty Job up and riding. Beautiful connection from that first to second turn, just playing around on that
You
one.
knew what to do with that wave after that.
Yeah. So Batyr providing high school students with free Batyr at school programs, and they aim to engage, educate and empower young people to reach out for support when they need it. Waves of Wellness are providing ocean therapy to groups experiencing mental health issues. It facilitates functional recovery while promoting social inclusion and engagement through surfing, which I think has helped a lot of people, especially surfers. The ocean is such a beautiful place. I feel like you can really ground yourself and connect in there and kind of wash off anything you're feeling with that salt water. And Man Anchor and Rise Foundation offers mental health first aid training for people wanting to become a trained mental health first aid advisor for their local community. As we see Charlie Brophy, he's currently sitting in second place, maybe trying to consolidate that position.
Yeah, he
Increase-
looking to improve on a 5,
Yeah.
true. So
Needs a better
probably not going to get it with that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I tell you, Matt Hoare, he's been out there, we think, with priority for quite. Oh, there he goes, big snap, and we didn't see what he did on the
no.
outside,
Yeah.
but big turn there and full spray into Matty Job's head.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see what that score is. But Matt Hoare putting the hammer down on the paddle back out, so he's trying to get back in position very quickly.
Oh, there it is.
Well, there you go, a 4.17. So he's only chasing a 4.04. So that puts Matt Hoare back into first place. 3.5 minutes remaining. So Surfer in White with a 6.9 on his first wave and 4.17 is back in the lead. He can improve on his situation pretty easily, of course. But just Matty Job needs a 4.83, while Charlie Brophy chasing a 5.14 to move from third to second. So presses on Charlie Brophy just on 3 minutes remaining. Well, true, just as I was saying, Matt Hoare had been waiting for quite some time.
Yes.
He-
It
smart.
had been.
Yep, and then bang, he gets the score he needed. Only chasing that 4.04, so he was unlucky not to get a connection after that turn, but
Yeah.
he's done enough to stay in or get back into first.
Yeah, well, he's using potentially a little bit of local knowledge over the younger surfers in this heat. So Matty Hoare's kind of going, yep, this is the lineup. I know a wave's going to come here, and when I get
Yeah.
it, I just got to go to town. And that's exactly what he did, and he moved up into first.
Yeah, well, from our viewing, it looks like he's moved up north a little bit, further away from the break wall when he paddled
Yep.
out off that wave, because he came from just right to left on the screen, and he paddled out to the left out of shot. So headed north a bit, and we've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Charlie Brophy's the only one who can damage the position for Matty Job and Matt Hoare at the moment. And there's the overview. So surfers spread out over probably 50 metres. I wonder if that's Matt Hoare to the far north. Right there on the break wall there. And that'll give you an idea how this beach. This break turns in some fun waves. What was it like yesterday? What was the wind? South yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When you got here,
Yeah, so I got here at about 1 and surfed Carter's Beach.
Yep.
And that was fun. And then the southerly really came and kind of just killed it. And then I came and surfed here yesterday afternoon, and it was maybe 2 to 3 foot, maybe a couple of 4-footers coming through, and it was very, very fun.
Right. Many people out?
Maybe 10 people.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, but it was a little bit crowded because we were all sitting on that one
On the
bank.
one bank, yeah.
Because it would peak up and then run from there. But it was really fun. Still super manageable to get waves out there.
You didn't get hassled too much?
Nah.
Locals didn't know, what are you doing here? It's not North Narrabeen.
Yeah, I
Come on.
know. No, it was good. It was actually all just it was more-
Surfers.
yeah, just
Yeah,
surfers.
competitors.
Competitors.
Yeah.
There was a heap of girls out there. Summer Longbottom, Kira Buckpit, the short girls, Zalia and Shyla. Freya Prum was out there. A couple of other girls were out there as well. I mean,
Was Freya, pulling rank? She hassling everything like she normally
no,
does?
she
Oh,
wasn't.
she wasn't.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
she was-
unusual.
Yeah, she was sitting on the inside a little bit further, and then towards the end of her surf, she came out the back a bit more, and then went in.
Huh,
Yeah.
There you go. Well, she had to go in and make that little day in the life of Freya Prum
Yes.
promo we ran before. So 20 seconds remaining. See Matt Hoare holding the lead. Looks like Matty Job is sticking as close to he can as Charlie Brophy on screen. That's Charlie to the right, the blue singlet, and Matty Job not far away from him, keeping a very close eye. And I'm not sure who has priority, but this clock is winding down very quickly from Charlie Brophy's point of view. He has 2 seconds now, and he's not going to get it, so no wave comes through. So Matt Hoare doing the job, local surfer moving through with a win there. Matty Job in second place, and we'll be back with round 1, heat 1 of the women's here at the Australian Open of Surfing, Far South Coast Open, right after this break.
You've dreamed of places to go. You promised one day. Now, one day is here. New adventures. Wide open spaces. So, you can't travel the world right now. So what? New South Wales is here for you. Let's all reboot 2020. One unforgettable experience at a time. Now's the time to love New South Wales.
Say yeah to more power with the Amarok V6 and get your first 3 repayments on us.
Volkswagen.
And a very good morning. Welcome back to live action here at the Australian Open of Surfing Series, the Far South Coast edition. It is stop number 5, myself, Jess Grimwood, now joined in the booth by the lovely, always fun, Ashley Cheadle. Welcome.
Thank you, Jess.
It's good to have you back
Yeah,
on board the
happy
surf comps.
Happy Saturday.
Yeah, it is very happy Saturday. Now you made your way down your South Coast local.
South Coast, Culburra Beach. Grew up all along the east coast of Australia, really just doing the Pro Juniors when I was a kid, and we lived out of a van pretty much doing all these contests. So it's great to see, everyone just at the beach just doing what we love, and the conditions aren't always what you dream of in contests, but that's the game of the contest leg, whether it's amateur, pro surfing, board riders, any type of surfing event. I think it's just about maintaining the froth and doing what we love. Hey,
Yeah, and you've, like you said, you grew up doing the Pro Juniors, and we've been we've known each other for quite a long time, probably like 15 years, I guess.
yeah, I think 15 years, probably more.
Yeah, maybe more, yeah, because we were the same era coming up through, and you were one of those top Pro Junior competitors, and you moved away from surfing, didn't you, and went into films?
So
Or
it was.
acting?
It wasn't like a planned thing. I did the Pro Juniors and the QSs and a few of the events that I'd get, invites to and things. Obviously Billabong I was sponsored by at the time. And it just came about through them that my schedule ended up being doing some modelling work, and then it just followed into that it became, I guess, managed easier to continue that stuff rather than go to all the events. And it was just I would have got burnout if I tried to do it all.
Yeah.
I look back and think, oh man, I wonder, you know.
Yeah, well, it's always going
'Cause
to be that question, because you were right at the top of women's surfing in Australia when you did step away. I remember it pretty well. Like, you were in that whole group along
Yeah,
with
for
Jessie Miley
sure.
Dwyer and
Jess Miley,
Jessie Buchan, Ace Buchan's
Yeah.
sister, and that whole group of
Beck
girls.
Woods,
Yeah, Woodsy.
Steph Gilmore,
Yeah.
Katrina Petroni at the time. She
Oh.
was from overseas. Yeah, so
Right.
we were like a pretty strong crew, really, for
Mm.
our, I suppose, generations.
Yeah.
And it was the pinnacle of, you know, women's surfing changing.
Mm.
Facebook didn't exist. Instagram didn't exist.
It was the cusp, wasn't it? It was right that the last kind of underground women chargers tour that flipped on over into this mainstream kind of women's industry that we
Yeah.
now see in surfing.
And it was underground, and it wasn't, you know, I was just talking to some families down the beach before, and, you know, everyone kind of wears the gear of the surfing gear. We didn't even really, like, we just wore whatever. It wasn't like we had branding or anything. We were just like there for this is sick. We get to catch up with
Yeah.
everyone. And I think that's what it is. That's what it's built on. It's like, you know, cowboys of the water.
Yeah, cowboys and cowgirls.
You know, you go to the toilets to quickly shower with a tap.
Yeah,
and you live out
true.
of a car. Like, it's
True.
nothing glamorous about it. And
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit similar to photo shoots as well, or even acting and presenting and all that. It's not what, you know, you got to go with the flow, like surf the life, I think, especially with, you know, mental health at the moment.
Yeah.
You just got to maintain that. And that's what I love about surfing. Surfing is so unique. You know, I stepped away, but yet I'm still family to everybody.
Yeah. It's
And
still so tightly knit into the fabric here. Like, you've
For
got
sure.
your young bloke as well floating around the comps now,
He
getting
comes,
to know
he
everyone.
comes with me, and that's really cool. Everyone steps in, and it's a bit of a, you know, family affair as well. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, this is the new generation of women coming up through. So it is the Open Women's Round 1. Heat number 1's in the water. Casey Hargraves opened up with a 4.67 and 3.33. Arabella Tarpey's in second position, a 2.67 and a 2.57. So Crystal Davies needs a 3.42. And it is, this is the next generation for the women coming up in competition surfing, getting the opportunity to step up into the Australian Open Surf Series. And somebody that we are very happy to be working alongside with, the captain, El Capitan, the president of the Dalmeny Board Riders Club, Matt Hoare, taking a win in heat number 8.
Yeah, cheers.
Congratulations. And I know there was a little bit of tension and biting of fingernails going on from the rest of your support crew here at the very end of that heat. Talk us through how you managed to collect that last very important 4.17.
Yeah, I knew I started off well with that wave down the line a little bit, and I don't know, it was really hard to hear the scores, but I knew I needed some kind of backup. I didn't know what, but I just thought I'd try and hit the lip, and yeah, that was it. One turn, got the score.
Well, yeah, it paid off well for you too. And you've been super important for us to come down here for the 5th instalment of the Open Series, obviously welcoming us into the community. You guys have got the Dalmeny Board Riders barbecue raging on the beach too. Talk to us a little bit about how important it's been for you guys post-COVID to have the board riders and this event to, you know, get everyone back together.
Yeah, it's amazing, especially after starting the year with bushfires. We didn't know whether we'd lose our whole community or whatever, and then COVID hit, and I think we might have missed one comp for the fires and then a few for COVID. We haven't even when we started running board riders back up again, we haven't had a barbecue until now, so this is the first one. And then you guys showed up and brought everyone with you, and yeah, it's great support for the local community. Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, it's great to be working alongside you guys, and we do appreciate the head nod and the handshake to get us up and running down here in the local area. So good luck going into round number 2 this afternoon, and any shout out, I'm sure there's plenty of people tuning on in the community.
Oh, there's so much. Yeah, thanks to my wife Jody, my parents, my bosses, all our sponsors for the Board Riders Club. I won't go through them because guaranteed I'll miss a few. But yeah, all the people that support the local board riders, it's just awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is great to hear from you, Maddie. And good luck going into round number 2. Look forward to seeing that experience coming back into play at the local break.
Yep, cheers.
All right, good luck.
Good luck,
And
Matt.
Thank you.
it's great to see him. Ash, you know the importance of connecting with the community down
Yeah.
here to be able to run these events. You know, you can't just rock up on people's doorsteps and bring what we call, sometimes it looks like a bit of a travelling circus when we rock up with all the vans and plenty of surfers from out of town. So to have people like Matt Hoare helping bring, I guess it's a little bit of an economic boost back into the community after such a weird year and such
For
a tragic
sure.
year for them.
And it's also kind of, it gives the community that sense of, you know, these guys are family too, like they're welcomed in and vice versa. And it knits, you know, the younger generation to Surfing New South Wales and the big leagues in that sense too, because, you know, this is a bit of a production and it might look small in a little sense to the big things, but it's actually, you know, it all leads to the same thing. And yeah, it's quite amazing to think that we all have a part to play, and there's, you know, it just there is in a way no ego with it all, because we all have something to give and something to offer, and that's what keeps I guess the show alive.
Yeah, that's the beautiful part of surfing, and so well said there. And at the moment, heat number 1 of the women's in the water, Casey.
Girls.
Yeah, the girls out there. Casey's out in the lead. And we've got heat number 2, so it'll be the only other women's heat today. Shyla Short, Anna Chamberlain, Jess Bennett and Mel Eden. There goes Casey Hargrave. She's got a first nice opening turn. I saw her in her warm-up there this morning, Ash. She found some open face where you can see it's super tricky conditions.
So tricky. And down the beach, like hearing us right now on the web, you know, it's really peaceful. I feel like I'm in a meditation booth or something, but down there it's chaos, and it looks, you know, small, and it looks like it's going to just be just a wind chop, but honestly it's like there's wind, there's things flying around and they can't hear, and you know, there's actually a lot going on that I don't think the webcast does it justice. So for the girls to just stay calm and even find the waves, it's really tricky out there to even find certain waves, but that's what surfing's about. You can't always just pick the types of, you know, field to play in. It's a moving, living vessel that we have to, the cards are dealt, and you've got to deal with it and work with it. So it's it keeps it actually fun, and it also keeps it stressful and a little bit of an adrenaline rush wherever you go, whether it's big waves, small waves, windy, chop, whatever.
Yeah, so it does. And Casey Hargraves is 7.17 for the last wave for her, so she's improved the leads by a fair bit at the moment. Arabella's going to be chasing 9.18. Crystal looking for a 2.85, so pretty much a single turn will get Crystal back into the game here, just over 9 minutes on the clock. Welcome if you just have tuned in on KO Sports or live online. We are broadcasting live from the Narooma Breakwall on the far south. There's Crystal Davies. We saw, I think, both of her brothers competing against each other early this morning, Philip and Michael. So it's great to see the sibling group just getting down here. Obviously, local surfers from the area. Here goes the heat leader, Casey Hargraves. Nice hook on the backhand. She's found some nice little sections to work with, like you were saying, Ash, tricky little onshore conditions for this morning of competition. And something else I want to make mention to, obviously, this inlet, I think it's the Wagunga Inlet for the local Indigenous people here. You're an auntie from your area, Indigenous surf. I feel like
to different people, I suppose. I wouldn't call myself an elder or anything. That's not.
But from your community.
Towards
your area.
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
So I feel like there's a lot of people that know you for your acting and for your role in professional surfing, but there's not a lot of people that linked you up as being an Indigenous surfer. So many people have been surprised.
Actually, Jess. Yeah. I did flag it a long time ago. I think, but at the time, I guess it wasn't something that. And I'm not dissing on media or anyone, but at the time, it wasn't necessarily a thing to sort of let out of the bag, will we say?
It wasn't well represented. You definitely didn't have a voice. And
and I think that's a real shame sometimes, because, you know, being a female as well, and we're matriarchal in a lot of sense as a culture. And I have a really amazing theory that, you know, our people are actually the first surfers.
We were speaking about that.
You know, so, but, you know, there's like Otis Carey now doing great artwork, and I think it's now time to just go, yeah, all right, let's let's heal that, and let's speak about that, because it wasn't necessarily a welcomed thing to talk about in a lot of ways. And that's just the times, and times are changing, and as you can see, people are starting to speak up. I mean, we're proud of, the Hawaiian culture, the Tahitian culture, and I'm starting to feel that everyone should be proud of, our Aboriginal Indigenous Australian culture, because it's beautiful, and it is ancient, and it is relevant. As much as it's old, it's still in existence. And I love that you pointed that out, because I didn't exactly have a voice for that, but
well, you do now. It's great to have you on the mic and being that voice now, getting that opportunity.
And it wasn't that, I've never denied it or anything. It was just never promoted or never spoken about, because it was just, there was so many other things going on, and I don't know why people didn't use it, because it would have been an amazing vessel. Yeah. For sure.
Like you said, times are changing, and I feel like it's something that's come to the conversation, or come to the forefront of people's conversation too, post the bushfire period. I feel like the government is starting to realise that the Indigenous people of the land and the First Nations people had I don't know what you would call it. I'm obviously speaking from an outsider perspective, but
wisdom,
the wisdom around the fire,
and the skill,
and
just
the fire management that you guys had,
fire management and land management, and obviously, the land's not something you own; it's something that is a part of you. So I think it's a very different thing to, say, a Western way of thinking. Obviously, people have evolved, and we live in a modern age now. So, we all adapt to the times we're in, but the land was a part of us, similar to how surfers, back to surfing, similar to how surfers see the ocean. It becomes a part of you. It becomes, so interconnected with your being that you almost crave getting in the ocean. And when you don't get in the ocean, look at Casey there on that nice right-hander. Sorry, I'm just trying to...
Yeah, she's totally in flow, isn't she?
She's totally flowing. And when you're not in the ocean, you feel out of flow on that note. You definitely feel like there's something missing. And that's similar to, Aboriginal culture. If you're not connected to the land, working with the land, you are with the land. The land is you, vice versa. Then there's a disconnect. And, our old people were, saltwater people as well as desert mob, and there's countries within our country, and I think that's definitely got to be spoken of as well, just a bit more, and through our governments and education and the surfing industry as well. It's awesome to see that, we're really starting to go, our coastal mobs have so much to offer as coastal countries around our country, for sure.
Yeah, and what better people to understand how the ocean and how all these different parts of nature kind of connect, like you said, with ourselves, but also with each other, and how we can, I guess, prep our area or just maintain that connection.
And it's everyone's culture as well, whether I'm Aboriginal, you're not, or you are. It's my culture is your culture as much as it should be shared. There's obviously protocol and different things and law and customs and traditions that we keep, and that's that. But it's beautiful to share it, and it's there's secret things, but there's sacred things too. Here we go, another nice right-hander. Look at this wave.
Yeah, Crystal.
It's so tough out there. I can't, the video's not even doing it justice. I'm like, damn, these girls are doing so good on the beach. I'm just like, how are they finding these waves?
Yeah, it is really tough. There's the windy conditions here this morning. But Casey Hargraves, a 7.40 for her last wave. So she, at the moment, is comboing the field.
Dominating.
Absolutely dominating. With just over 3 minutes on the clock here in heat number 1 for the Australian Open of Surfing Women's Round 1. And Arabella sitting in second. So Crystal Davies, last wave for her was a 2.5, only needs a 2.55. So one other little section will get Crystal, the local lady, out into the lead. There goes Arabella. She's on one of those wider looking kind of grovelling boards. We've seen that around the contest site. I know you're speaking with some of the local boys, some of the Dalmini guys, and they're on those that grovel equipment out here this morning. Would that be probably something you would have tapped into back in the comp day? Get the grovel board out?
In these conditions, certainly. I'd have that for sure, and then I'd probably have another board on the beach just in case it just didn't go to plan. Because you can plan so much with these conditions, but it would just throw you curveballs left, right and centre, and that's it. Hey, you just got to maintain that you're in your lane and don't worry about anyone else's, business and keep going. But with the wind, you can't hear. There's just got to keep it pretty calm out there. And
yeah, they
in the
can't. So
mess.
you've been on the beach comms as well. There's no chance that those competitors would be able to hear your score updates as they're with that wind.
No, they
no
can't
chance.
hear, which is a shame because I'm speaking them out for them and waiting for a hand up or anything. Nothing.
Yeah, so
So-
these girls have to really tap into their own competitive experience and kind of imagine maybe how the heats unfolded for themselves at least. And that's where some of that practice pre-competition comes into play, where they've been maybe doing some coaching on the beach and they're scoring their own rides outside of competition. They can, so if Crystal kind of knows she's got a couple of 2s or 3s, she can kind of imagine, okay, she's obviously got to get something better. So something around the 4 mark is going to get her back into the game here. We're just over a minute on the clock. Arabella finding another little way. That board's working well for her
And
to get into
That's it.
nothing
Like
waves.
you've just got to get out there every day. You can't go, oh, the surf's not great. You got to honestly just whinge about it later.
Yeah.
Get in the ocean, even if it's a paddle, even if it's like a semi-swim, you take your board, you let your board kind of, go into the sand and you just body surf. As long as you're in the ocean every day, no matter what the conditions, your body-mind connection will be on point when game day,
Yeah.
comp day comes. In the ocean field, you'll be ready to play, ready to go, and you'll
Yeah.
have your game on. So I think
Yeah.
that's important because it's not always, Hollywood surfing movies. It's tough.
It's rarely Hollywood surfing
It's
movies
rarely
in competition,
Hollywood.
isn't it? And like you said, that just that extra time in the water on your body, like there's things that you don't even know that you're picking up.
Definitely.
I don't know how you absorb it, but somehow in that subconscious, and you start to learn to read the language of the ocean in a deeper way, and helps you when conditions are really tricky. As we see the last 10 seconds in this heat, Casey Hargraves has run away. Huge, big heat total for her. 14.57. Arabella Tarpey looking like she's going to make it through because the buzzers against Crystal Davies and missing out by 0.04 of a point. So stick with us. Live action from heat number 2 of the Open Women's Round here at the Australian Open of Surfing, Far South Coast edition, coming up right after this break.
New South Wales looking at a fine day this afternoon.
You've dreamed of places to go. You promised one day. Now, one day is here. New adventures. Wide open spaces. So, you can't travel the world right now. So what? New South Wales is here for you. Let's all reboot 2020. One unforgettable experience at a time. Now's the time to love New South Wales.
And a very good morning. Welcome back. Live action here. It is the first day, Saturday morning, just on 10:30 actually, a.m. We're into heat number 2 of the Open Women's Round 1. Myself, Jess Grimwood, joined in the booth by Ashley Cheadle, former professional surfer and I guess Australian
That sounds so funny when you
Australian
say it.
identity. I guess we could label you as. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with some good labels for you at the moment. But welcome back to. I mean, you never left surfing, but welcome back to the booth.
Thank you. Back in here. Yes.
I love seeing your Super Grum around the event. It was the
Cash.
first time that I met him properly at the event in Cronulla that you came up for. And he's such a quiet guy, but you can just tell he's just soaking in everything everybody says around him.
He does. Yeah.
And he's going to be super frother out there.
It's funny because I haven't really forced surfing on him, but I've sort of just said, like we walk, you kind of have to surf, buddy, because mum surfs. So I got him to a level now that I can sit on the beach and watch him. But I'm not, worried whether he follows it or doesn't.
Yeah.
I just love the lifestyle, and I loved that I grew up doing this and going to contests. but I'm not going to be the mum that goes, "Come on, son." I'm not like.
Will you take him on the tour around on the Grummy or the junior tour if he decides one day in the next few years?
I'll let him decide. Obviously, I've been involved in creating the Culburra Beach Board Riders in honour of my dad, really, because we used to kind of all with a few different families run. Back then it was called the Shellhaven Board Riders, so it was the whole of the Shellhaven.
Yeah.
And that was cool because we used to all meet up as a Shellhaven and just change beaches. We'd go to Ulladulla, then Bendalong, and then, you know, so we'd just swap towns, and it was sort of one town or one region area. And then I just felt that we needed to create a Board Riders. When I was cleaning out Dad's shed, all these tents were coming out, and I was like, man, I said to my brother Jay Moon, I said, mate, we need to do our own Board Riders, hey. And so then, you know, I got on the phone to Mambo and designed a cougar cat.
Oh yeah, the Culburra symbol.
And
that's right.
said, boys, you need to do this for me.
Yeah.
And again, like, they were happy to just do that and you know, just pass it on. Like, I didn't have to go to, you know, find some designer in a town, and it was all done out of love and favour, and we were just all blessing each other. And that's just how we all are as a surfing community. I definitely think we're so unique as a sport because we're a lifestyle, we're a sport, we're a culture, we're a people that bring it all together. And even if you stand up paddle, you bodyboard, you know, quote to say it, but it's all ocean stuff, and it just keeps us all happy and frothing and young and
and tuned into that, like you said, it's so well put. It's a whole understanding of something else that brings us together. Last night we had the mental health movement talk, and Brett Connellan from Kiama was sharing his story of the shark attack, which I've never heard in first person before, and every single person in the room just had their jaws on the ground as he recounted in detail how it changed his life, and then how the surfing community, he said literally, he was a kind of a mid to lower level QS surfer at the time it happened. He said when he finally turned his phone back on, he had thousands and thousands of messages from the surfing industry around the world. People that he thought didn't even knew he existed had messaged him to say, hey man, I'm thinking about you if you need anything, all this stuff. And it's like you said, surfing was the main thing there that has drawn everybody together in this understanding across the board. So it's incredible to be part of that community. And here we see Anna Chamberlain up and riding in the white, so she's going to get off to just a bit of a slow start, nothing really on offer for her. Mel Eaton had a 2.73 or 1.5 and a 1.23. Jess Bennett just a 1 point ride. Shyla Short's out there in the red, and 16 minutes on the clock here in the final women's heat for today before we move back into the men's round 2. And it's just such an important community to be a part of, Ash, as we've been speaking about throughout the morning already. Especially, like you said, you've got your young guy Cash coming up in it and being embraced by everybody. Did you surf with him during your pregnancy?
Yeah, I did, actually, 2 weeks before.
Before you were due?
Yeah, I had a lady on the beach screaming screaming at me, "What are you doing?" Because it was pretty big, and I don't know, I think she just sort of, the way I was paddling looked like I hadn't or didn't really know what I was doing.
You were like, I've got this, lady. I've got this. I think
I had my knees sort of like under my stomach, and I guess kind of like, what's the yoga pose where you baby pose? Yeah, baby pose. Yeah, where your knees are sort of under your chest, sort of. So my knees were almost touching my breasts, and there was like a gap, so my belly could fit.
I've seen a lot of pregnant ladies from around.
It's pretty funny, but you know, I just did it, and I figured, you know, if this was back in the day and I had to go out and catch a fish on this device, I'd do it. So I just, you know, paddled out, did it, and and then a couple days later, it was probably less than 2 weeks actually, but then had Cash, and I had him in the water, so that was cool.
Full water baby.
Full water baby.
Well, we'll get back to that conversation because we've got Casey Hargraves, winner of the Open Women's Heat #1. Casey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Tricky conditions. I saw you for the warm-up surf earlier this morning. Give us a little insight. What time did you get down here? What was the prep coming into this first round for you?
Well, I set an alarm for like 6, but I ended up waking up around 5:30, so I just came down then and just went out. this morning. It was a lot less windier than this, but it was still good to get prep in before the heat.
Yeah, and you're obviously, it looks like with that sticker on the front of your board, you've joined the sister team for surfing.
So cool.
Yeah, I've been sponsored by Sister for maybe just like a year or so now, just like a little bit, but more girls are getting sponsored by them now, which is really good because it's becoming a bit more noticed, because I think not many people knew who they were before, but I think it's becoming a bit more knowledgeable now.
Yeah, so you're in the stalls along with Lakey Peterson as well.
Yeah.
She was I guess she's your top or A team signing, the sister. Does that give you kind of like some direction for your goals? Are you looking to do the regional QS and then move into hopefully some type of championship tour qualification?
Yeah, hopefully. Just depends on what happens. But yeah, having Lakey sponsored by Sister definitely gets the name out there a little bit more, and it's good to have more professional surfers sponsored by Sister as well, because it's like not an up and coming brand, but it's better well known now because it's the pairing with Vizsla.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you had an incredible heat. You posted 2 mid-7s in your scoreline.
Oh, really?
Yeah, could you hear what was going on?
I have no idea. I didn't know.
That's even better. That you don't know. You're just doing your thing. You're not even worried about it. That's awesome.
Yeah, Ash was saying that the wind was so strong there it was hard to translate what was happening in the heats to you guys. So you were just
no idea.
You were just locked in and focused on performance out there.
Yeah, I just got sent up here. I didn't even know how it went. So that was good.
Oh well, we're interviewing you because you won that heat. So congratulations. Any shout outs to the guys tuning in at home, supporting you?
Yeah. I reckon he's probably watching now. Was my coach, and maybe my dad if he's watching it from work.
Oh, good on you. Well, congratulations. Good luck going into tomorrow's quarterfinals. We look forward to seeing you in probably a little bit less windier conditions tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully.
Great. Thank you very much, Casey.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Casey.
There's that new generation for you, Ash.
How good is she?
Yeah.
She didn't even know what was going on. Had a smile. The winds. I just got sent up here. I don't know. How good.
Yeah, they're so good. I feel like they're so focused on their own performance too. These young athletes coming through, the young girls, they're not too distracted too easily. They're kind of locked into their own little preheat routines. And
I think that's just because of all, to be honest, the generation before them have really all, Laura Anivar and, Tyler and all of us. And the girl, Lane and Kate Scarrett and, everyone before, Lisa Anderson. It's kind of like, when back to, Aboriginal Indigenous culture saying we honour our ancestors. It's like we're honouring, those girls are honouring the people before them. And that's, it just, not to say that it gets easier as the generations go on, but there is a path laid out where you can go. There's a quote about, great painters copy the masters or follow the masters. And I think if you can follow how someone's done it well, and then do it in your own unique way and adapt that to you and your different person, the path's already there for you to follow. So you don't have to rediscover too much. There's definitely ways to lay the bricks.
Yeah.
And you can work out, okay, the bricks are laid. That's how you lay them. Do the apprenticeship. Watch what the others have done, You don't have to rediscover it on your own. It's already been set for the generation now. So not to say that it's easier. It's completely different because you can't compare the times, but it is easier in many ways because the surfing industry is set in a different way that becomes a little bit more structure.
Yeah, well said. And for these young girls like Casey and Shyla, you can see Shyla out in the lead there with a 6-point ride. They're not looking at just getting a start in the events anymore like it used to be, I guess, in the 70s and 80s. They're looking at, okay, what do I need to do to be a holistic athlete to do the championship tour? It's not even a question anymore.
And
for
how
them.
do I not get burnout? And how do I maintain that and to not get caught up on, I'm just going to be like a rock star and have all these sponsors? Because the reality is, even if you've got money coming in from sponsors, there's going to be times where you're sleeping in an airport, where you're, eating baked beans out of a can because there's cafes shut down, or there's things happen, reality happens. And if you can learn to hustle in the hard times, then in the good times, you're just going to flow. You're just going to find your flow, and it will be, nothing comes easy. And I think that's what the girls are starting to see, that, you do have to work on it. You're not just going to go, I'm sponsored, I'm set.
Yeah.
You're never really set. You've never really made it in anything, as long as you can continue, creating that that mindset and staying a good person. And awesome that Sister have got behind her, because you know that's a great brand. The old Billabong bosses are involved in that, and I had a hell time with Billabong back in the day. So
you had some good trips and.
Yeah, and just a great crew, really. I think that's everything. If you've got great people behind you and around you, then it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be cleaning a toilet and you'll want to go to work and brush that toilet because you can't stop laughing with your crew.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
so it's like create that mindset, find your team, find your tribe, and if it doesn't work, then change it.
Yeah.
But it's just so cool to see on a Saturday. These girls aren't, you know, on Instagram. They're actually in the ocean. They can't take their phone out there.
No, not yet anyway. So Shyla Short at the moment out in the lead, and she's in the flow that you're speaking about. Ash, that 6-point ride has her out in front. 8 minutes on the clock. Mel Eaton, a 1:53 and a 3.67. Anna Chamberlain needs a 4.04 to get into second position. Just a couple of throwaway ones to her at the moment. She needs to find the opportunity to open up. And Jess Bennett, a 1 and a 0.33, so a 4.21 will take Jess into progression. So really nothing in it at the moment for the ladies. It's really the difference between finding that bigger wave out here this morning, and just one section will literally move fourth straight up into a progression spot. So very tight.
Oh, and must be frustrating too. I mean, that's the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, I think also for the younger girls too, I mean, Mel and Jess, I think they're a little bit younger in the draw, and getting to match up against one of the South Coast surfers, Shyla, is a great opportunity. Here goes Mel Eaton right now in the blue Rashi. She's found a little runner, and then she gets to work on that outside rail. So she's loving that open face opportunity for her, and she's currently sitting in second position. So she wants to throw away the 1.53 if she wants to create a little bit more space between herself and Anna and Jess. But yeah, the opportunity that these events and this series brings about, Ash, for these guys and girls. We've seen a lot of local guys as well get into the draw from way down south, and having the opportunity to match up against the top seeds for the women and the men. People like Geordie Lawler and that we've seen at the top of Australian surfing. Here we go, Jess Bennett. Nice runner there. She lays a little bit of rail, and that'll be a good wave for her under her feet.
Lock
I think get her confidence going, and she needs to get a little bit busier now. She's chasing a 5.01, so we're going to need to see some solid capitalising on a section.
On wave choice too, but that's tough. Then that's just what they all dealt with though. 6 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time though.
Yeah, heaps of time. How long?
It feels like it's, you know, oh, there's only 6 minutes, but it's actually a lot of time with ocean, and isn't it? As you know.
It's so much time in the water. It's probably plenty of time. It goes too slowly for Shyla and Mel, and for Jess and Anna.
Yes.
It's just quick as it just flies by. So at the moment, Shyla and Mel doing well in the lead. Just over 5.5 on the clock. We do have the first heat of round number 2 of the men's. Number 1 seed for the Australian Open of Surfing, Dylan Moffat, will be out there in the red. Hayden Ward in the white. Van Whiteman was previous heat winner this morning, out there in the yellow. And Philip Davies, we saw him progressing through also this morning, will be kicking off that first heat of the men's round 2. And there'll be, I think it is 8 heat, all going all the way through to heat number 18 today.
18. Women's tomorrow, open quarterfinals. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Right, yeah, good call for that too, because conditions looking nice in the morning. Offshore, a little bit bigger with this wind swell, and the sand's looking really good. I think when you would have seen, because you've been down on the beachfront, but when you walk along the breakwall as well, you can see the shape of the bank here on the inside of the breakwall, and there's plenty of waves, and there's nice sections. So
there is actually plenty of waves, and sometimes the camera, you know, can seem deceiving as well. So, I mean, everyone's in the same boat. It's the conditions are the conditions. You've got to deal with those cards and show us what you can play with those cards dealt. So, I mean, that's just surfing, and that's what's awesome about it, as much as it's super frustrating. And I think that's why it's just so important to go and surf crappy waves. Get out in the crap, because if you can't learn to manage your frustration just in a day-to-day free surfing, you're not going to be able to do it in a heat, because you're going to get so annoyed. You're going to complain, the wind, this, that. You've got to just go, okay, this is it. I'm going to make the best of this moment, the best of this situation, and I'm going to work with it, because I surf this stuff every day.
Yeah.
You know, so it's Yep. I was going to start commenting on that wave. And
Yeah, it just died out. There seems to be a bit of a hole in the north side of the bank as well, and I've seen there's wider waves on offer just on the north where the girls are paddling back out. I saw Geordie Lawler this morning picking off those amazing.
He got some awesome right-handers there. He just found this little bank that just kept, and he just stayed in that spot, and it worked for him.
And exactly what you said, like he made the best of the situation. He obviously puts in the time in the water, and there goes Jess, nothing on offer there. And he had throwaway 8s. He had 3 throwaway 8s in a 20-minute heat.
So good. Yeah. That's it. You've just got to you've got to just make the best of the situation and just like find the gems out there, and they're there to be had if you can get into the flow, like you were speaking about, Ash. Get into the flow of the situation, and your young fella's just made his way in, maybe to give us a bit of a surf report, Cashy. How is it out there, Cash?
Some good little waves out there on offer for the conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's still plenty overhead sets coming on through. Here we see Mel Eaton up and riding now. She's got some open face to work with. She jumps on the front foot. I think she's looking for the inside connection, so she's been able to hold on to second position at the moment. Looking for a 4.01 to take the lead. Jess Bennett needs a 3.54. Anna Chamberlain a 4.84. So Shyla Short still has a 1.67 in the belt. She's going to need to throw that away. I'm sure she's looking for more about a reflection on her own performance. She's been around competitions for the last couple of years in the juniors.
Yeah.
And I think her and her sister, so she's the youngest of 2. There's Zalia Short and there's Shyla Short. And they're kind of in that transition period, where they're
family
moving.
Surfing, so they can share that. That does help. You know, my brothers surfed. I didn't really have a choice. I was either going to do homework or get out in the ocean. So I went to the ocean. I mean,
why wouldn't you? They've got such a competitive nature too. I've seen them match up across a lot of the Grom series. Head to head against each other.
Yeah, awesome.
They're so competitive.
That's so good.
But they're in that group of surfers that are making their way from the juniors.
Nice right-hander here.
Oh yeah, here goes Anna.
Anna, she needs a nice wave. You can tell she's got a really nice style. And that's it. I mean, just got to get that wave.
Yeah, she's only chasing a 4.84 now. So
not to be like, you know, everything's got to be happy and you've got to focus on the good. You can use your anger and your frustration to be channeled into surfing too, and that's fine. Like, totally get angry, do whatever you got to do to just make the most of that moment. I mean, you know, it's actually harder to stay positive most of the time.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you bring up that point. So we're just over a minute on the clock. Mel in second. Anna's moved into third. Her last wave was a 3.17. And Jess Bennett now needs a 3.54, so 2.84 and 3.54 for that last wave. It looks like maybe we're a little bit behind the timer here on the live action on the screen. And yeah, there we go. It's ticked off. So unofficially, Shyla Short and Mel Eaton looks like they're progressing on through from heat number 2 of the women. Stick with us. Live action from men's round 2, heat number 1, coming up at the Australian Open of Surfing and the Far South Coast edition right after this break.
New South Wales looking at a fine day with afternoon 20.
Rescue program is essential, I think, for everyone who's in the water every day. Anyone who has access to it and hears about it, you should probably go and learn a little bit of something from it. So you just have to be aware in the water, and when you train this kind of stuff, you get more awareness of your surroundings. It's even more easy to identify when somebody's in trouble, or to see when a potential problem's going to happen. If you're going to try and save someone just because it's out of the goodness of your heart and you don't have the skills, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Yeah, so everyone should be prepared.
Welcome back to Narooma Beach, windswept Narooma Beach. We're into the second round of the men's here at the Australian Open Surfing, the Far South Coast Open out in the water now. We've got Dylan Moffat in the red, Hayden Ward in the white, Van Whiteman in the yellow. And in the blue, Philip Davies, of course, Dylan Moffat, currently leading on the overall point score here at the Australian Open of Surfing, is the top seed. My name is Reggae Ellis, and joining me here in the commentary booth is our host, Matt Hall from Dalmeny Board Riders. Matt, thanks for having us.
So awesome.
Yeah, no, it's pretty tricky conditions out there as we see Dylan Moffat just whipping it around. Nice little section ahead of him, getting some speed out of this, and just whacks it up. And a little foam climb, and that one runs out. So, Matt, you won your heat a couple of heats ago. You know, pretty difficult out there.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. As you can see, it's pretty windy and choppy, but I mean that leads a lot of opportunities. So, yeah, you just got to deal with it.
Yeah, with that, you went out and got a 6.9 on your first wave. You're telling me you went up a little bit further up the beach, away from the breakwall.
Yeah,
local knowledge.
Yeah, more or less. When it's on, you kind of paddle out and sit a bit further away from the wall normally, and I just figured that's where the waves would come, so sat out there.
Yeah, so with this, you've got Dalmeny Board Riders. Obviously, you guys have your club, your monthly club contest. Do you get to surf in events outside your board riders down here? No, this is what, the first time?
Yeah. I try to get to the state titles, over the Masters state titles each year up in Boomerang. Apart from that, I guess I competed probably 20 years ago on the QS, but not since then.
Yeah, not since then. You're still surfing well. And what about down here? Like, how you feel? How's the crew feel about us bringing the Australian Open of Surfing down here?
Oh, we're stoked. Yeah, it's awesome to have you guys come down here and run one of these events. It's such a huge event. I don't think we've had anything of this scale down this end of the coast for, well, I don't know. I can't remember when.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of waves around here. Like, I surf down this neck of the woods quite a bit. Dalmeny, you got like a variety of beach breaks there. What we were dealing with here was this like howling northeasterly, so protection from the wind is not really, like a offshore, northerly corner in this area.
No, not really. In between Narooma and Dalmeny, where most of these beaches are, they're all beach breaks, and with small rocky outcrop headlands.
Yeah, not a full-on headland.
Not big points or anything. And in saying that, there's always like somewhere where you can get a little wave, and some of the places up in Dalmeny, the little tucked away back beaches, have probably more protection from the nor'easter, but this I think probably has the most swell for right now.
Yeah, and this area, like, it's sort of, as you said, there's no renowned reef or point breaks. Well, how was the winter? Because we had lots of solid ground swells. What do you...
Yeah,
I don't want you to draw a map for me.
No, I don't think we did as well as most other places, being that there was so much swell, and being they're all just small little beach breaks. A lot of those swells were kind of too big for these little beaches to handle, but there are a few places to the south and to the north that you get away and get a few good ones.
Yeah, well, it's a bit tough out there at the moment, so we're just going to cross down the winner of our last heat. You're there in the wind, you're not getting blown away, are you?
Sorta, not really.
So how was it out there?
It's pretty difficult, super small, yeah.
Yeah, but you got a couple of waves. I mean, is it just a lucky dip trying to find the waves?
Yeah, pretty much.
And you got a couple of small sections to work with. What was your strategy before you went out?
Just get 2 quick ones. Didn't really work though, and then just wait for the good ones, sort of.
And did you wait for your end? Were the good ones worth the wait?
There weren't a lot of good ones, but yeah, sort of.
Yeah. All right. Now, of course, the women's quarterfinals aren't on until tomorrow. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, pretty stoked.
Yeah, because I think we're going to have cleaner conditions and a little bit more quality. All right, well, I'll let you get out of the wind because it sounds like it's going to blow you away. And you rest up and all the best for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, talk to you then. Well, look at that. Dylan Moffat,
Nice.
frontside air. Yeah, he's looking pretty sharp out there. All right, so Dylan Moffat. Look at his two-wave totals looking pretty solid already, Matt.
Yep.
And I'll just try and get our live heats up and running. But, yeah, that picture there shows you just how windy it is. This northeasterly is howling through. And pretty typical for this time of year, though.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Typical wind for this time of year. We got actually one of the board riders in this heat, Phil Davies. He looks like he hasn't caught a wave yet.
Was he in a heat with his brother before?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. He's put something on the board.
So here we see Hayden Ward now. Snaps it up into the lip. Little section ahead of him. Bit of speed out of there. And made the most. Well, no, he didn't. He fell. That's not cool. But unfortunately, just falling on that one. And so, Matt, we're talking to me off air before about one of your sponsors here is the Dalmini Brewery.
Yeah.
Have they got a board riders brew? Is that someone told me that?
Yeah. He's come up with a hazy, kind of a summer hazy ale, fruity. It's named it Board Riders Ale, and it's probably one of the best beers I've ever tasted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
So you have to get down there and
I have to go check it out.
have a go. Yeah. Yeah. He's got a heap of beers on tap there, and yeah, you sit in there in the brewing shed with all the vats and all that stuff. Yeah, it's awesome.
Sounds good.
We're pretty lucky actually to have that here.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
to have that as a sponsor of the board riders too.
Yeah. So how many members you got in the board riders?
We have probably, I'd say, between 60 and 70 competing members, and then probably another 30 odd social members.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
pretty solid. How's it? How long's it been going for? Long
So
history?
this is the 4th year we've been running.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty new club.
Pretty new. Yeah, we did have a club running when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
The Montague Board Riders, and then that folded in the mid 2000s.
Okay.
And then it was time to start something up and give the juniors a bit of practice competing. So yeah, me and a mate got it up and running.
Yeah, well, that's solid. If you got 70 members, active members, and 30 social members. I love social members of board riders clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're usually the worst ones in the water, though. As we see Van Whiteman, good little section here. This wave fills up pretty quickly. We've got a high tide coming through just after midday. How do you reckon the bank's going to handle it with this wind?
I honestly think there'll probably be more opportunities with the high tide. As earlier, there was a lot more closeouts, whereas with the high tide, they should run a little bit longer now.
Yeah, those peaks, are the bigger peaks, I mean, they're coming through a bit more consistently as well. And I think has been reflected in the wave scores. We've got Dylan Moffat out there with a 6.17 and a 7.17. It's a good solid total. He's throwing away a 5.1. And Hayden Ward still with the wave to get locked in. Just a pair of threes at the moment, 3.83 and a 3.8, holding him in second place. Van Whiteman just with a 2.33, and that was a 3 coming on that last wave. So, and Philip Davies with a 3.1 and a 1.43. So, Dylan Moffat from North Narrabeen, he is the one out in front at the moment, courtesy of those two good solid openers. He's looking pretty sharp out there, though, Dylan. He has been on form during this.
Yeah, watching him warm up yesterday at the next beach over, and it was clear standout.
Yeah, he's had 3 seconds, I think, in this series.
Yeah. I guess it'd be nice for him to take home the win.
Yeah, well, like I said, he's a standout at the moment in the free surfs, and good to see. So it's between. Well, Geordie Lawler, did you see his heat this morning?
I saw his heat this morning, and I saw him free surfing a lot yesterday. He was out there early with us at the beach over the hill, and he was taking it apart.
Well, look at this nice section here for Dylan Moffat, and again, making the most of this little northeast peak, and actually making it look like fun out there. classic summer conditions here in Dylan Moffat with another good wave. Yeah, Matt, I suppose for you guys and the young guys in particular, because you've surfed around a lot, it's a good opportunity for them to get out there and watch these guys surfing, because they, don't get a bunch of top high caliber surfers coming visiting all the time.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's an incredible experience for the juniors from the club to see something like this, see surfing of this caliber without having to go too far.
Yeah, no, this is a great wave here on the Visit New South Wales replay. So you can see that incoming tide made a difference with that wave. Just kept giving it little.
Just kept holding it up.
Yeah, so nice looking wave there, and that's he's looking to replace a 6.17. I reckon he's definitely done that. Yeah,
so he's got an 8.
Yeah, just waiting for it to come through here on the live feed. A 9. 9-point ride. So there you go. Dylan Moffat with 7.17 and a 9. And way out in front, really putting the pressure on his opponents now. Hayden Ward currently in second spot, fully comboed, so he's going to need a pair of 8s at least. And Philip Davies he's now in second, needing a 4.54 to move from third to second. Van Whiteman currently chasing a 4.77. Could you hear the beach announcers calling wave scores, or you sort of travelling blind?
Yeah, you could hear it every now and then. When the waves would stop breaking, you could hear the announcement, but when it was with the wind and the waves breaking, you couldn't really hear anything.
Yeah, so talking about the club again, you got a lot of juniors. Like, is that the basis of the club, the Grommets?
Yeah, for sure. We've got a lot of members in that junior age group, under 18. They're all coming through. Like, we did the board riders battle the last few years, and our whole team pretty much, apart from myself, comprises of under 18s.
Yeah. That's right. So you were at Jones Beach a couple of weeks ago, weren't you?
Yeah.
And are they mostly second generation surfers? You got many of that coming through now? Cause
some are second generation surfers, and then there are some kids even younger that are like my kids' age that are starting to surf now, and we've created divisions for them to get into it as well.
The micro groms.
Yeah, micro groms and the assisted divisions and.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think board riders clubs around the country, it's sort of they've changed a lot over the last 20, 25 years. Before they were just sort of a bunch of mates, and now they're a real community thing, And you guys have got the the barbie happening down here, the tent. There's always a wealth of volunteers ready to cook the sausage sangers, which is always a good thing at a surf contest. So just on 5 minutes. So Dylan Moffat, he's home and hosed, I dare say. So what do you think the other guys have to do there, Matt? There's not a lot between second and fourth. Like Philip Davies, your local surfer. What do you reckon he needs to do?
I reckon they probably need to spread out a little bit and look for some peaks away from the other surfers. Find one of those ones that open up like Dylan got, and hopefully get a few opportunities down the line.
Yeah, well, he only needs a 4.54, Philip Davies. As you said, they're pretty tight at the moment because there's a couple of different sandbanks here, or one bank with different peaks. And so in a southerly, this like southerly airflow, it'd be fun little waves in this corner.
It can get pretty good. Sometimes when the swell's big enough, it'll break out in front of the wall, and sometimes peel all the way through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So full long break wall wave.
Don't want to talk it up too much.
No.
I'll get in trouble.
What about the seals?
Yeah, there's a whole colony on that southern wall.
Yeah, no, I see them.
Yeah.
I remember bringing my kids down here when they were, 14, 16, must have been 5 years ago. Very enthralled by the seals when they were 10. And, of course, this is a pretty amazing area, like naturally, fishing.
Heaps of fishing. Yeah. Whale watching, seals.
And what's out at Montague Island? Can you go out there for a day trip kind of thing?
Yeah, I think so. It's part of the national park, so you'd want to probably book through the national park, and they've got their boat, probably take you out there. I think there's tours. There's a lot of penguins out there, so they do penguin tours. And
any waves out there?
I know people. Really. I know people who have surfed it, but I wouldn't say it was a surfable wave.
Yeah,
it's more of a novelty wave
thing. Yeah, right.
Yep.
It's not like you're going to rush out there and go,
nah,
the island's on.
it's a series of giant boulders that don't really do anything.
Well, just over 3 minutes remaining. So Dylan Moffat in the lead. We've got Hayden Ward still holding down second. Keep your eye on Philip Davies in the blue. Just needs a 4.54. And I'm sure Hayden Ward's very aware of that. And he probably doesn't want to let Philip Davies disappear from view. But at the 3 minute mark, Dylan Moffat has got a massive hold on this heat, courtesy of a 9-point ride and a 7.17. Looks like Little Peak standing up now. No, it's hard to tell, like you hear in the booth and you look on the screen and you always see a fair bit of activity. Here we go. Van Whiteman currently in 4th spot. Let's see what he can do. Runs along the inside, comes around that section. Oh, he needed another turn. 4.77 he needed. He would have definitely got it.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, if he could have rode out of that, we will just wait and see. We can see how tight it is. So Hayden Ward, he'll be just there going, how... This heat is flying past, you know, for his point of view, I reckon. And the other guys, well, he'll just...
There you go. Did he get the score? Go to second.
He did. So there you go. So that was a...
Oh, no, he went to third.
No, he's gone to third with a 3.57. No, so Hayden Ward still hanging in there with just on 2 minutes remaining. He can improve his situation. Well, he's holding a 3.83 and a 3.8. Sort of not what the kind of scores you normally progress through a heat on. So he's probably pretty lucky at the moment, but he knows he could get overtaken any time now by either Van Whiteman or Philip Davies. So Philip Davies still looking for that 4.34. Plenty of there's scope out there to get the points, just a matter whether or not he has time. The 90 seconds remaining, so he can definitely get a wave. He might just need to start scrambling around a little bit because it's not a huge score. 2 sections and he'd be able to get that. But Hayden Ward, just in a very, very vulnerable situation at the moment, can be overtaken any time. And with a pair of threes, he's probably feeling like well, if I don't get through, sucked in. I don't deserve it. But at this stage, he is hanging on. So Dylan Moffat is, here he goes again. Oh, no take off. It's a bummer because he's been ripping. Been great watching Dylan surf throughout this heat. And that 9-point ride was really special. As we see just 55 seconds remaining. So Dylan Moffat just cruising through the lineup. He's just going to move into the next round pretty easily. But Surfer in blue there to the right.
Standing up.
Yeah, this could be something.
Come on, Phil.
40 seconds. So Little Peak coming through. It's starting to fill up a bit. And it looks like he's going on this one. There he goes, little foam climb. Can he get around this section? Climbs again. Might get a little bonus section on the inside. Only looking for a 4. Little snap. And here he goes. These really give it some stick on the inside. One more. Ooh, nice flare to finish as well. So Philip Davies catching that.
Needs a 4.
With 10 seconds to go. Needing a 4.54. And you can see Dylan Moffat out there, the heat winner. And there you go, that wraps up the heat. We don't know whether Philip Davies got through. We'll let you know when we come back. And we'll be back with Heat 2 of Round 2 of the men's here at the Australian Open of Surfing, South Coast Division. Oh, nice one. As Dylan Moffat just punctuates that. Come back soon.
Say yeah to more power with the Amarok V6. And get your first 3 repayments on us.
Volkswagen.
And a very good morning. Welcome if you have just tuned in. Live action here from the Australian Open of Surfing, the far south coast. 5th instalment of the series. We are into the Open Men's Round 2, heat number 2 in the water. We did just see Dylan Moffat in, once again, scintillating form. That's why he is the number 1 seed in the rankings right now. Myself, Jess Grimwood, joined happily in the booth by my very own uncle, Alan Grimwood. Good morning.
Jess. How are you?
Good to have you here. You're, of course, a prominent figure down here in the Eurobodalla Shire.
Well, I do run the Surfrider Foundation branch down here. That's probably what gives me that prominence, if that's what it is.
Yeah, it's great to have, I mean, luckily for me, your family, but we've been speaking about the importance of tapping into the local community down here and having that kind of sanctioned welcome into the area like this down on the south coast. So I think it's important to be bringing, we just saw Matt Hoare, the captain or the president of the Dalmeny Board Riders Club. You have a lot to do with him as well in the area.
Bit to do with him, yeah. I'm glad you tuned in with him because he's very competitive and Dalmeny Board Riders are an incredibly competitive club.
And so we are into heat number 2. Eddie Hamity, he's been in fine form. The Slovakian/Australian surfer out there in the red. Saxon Reber's in the white. Jordan Lawler in the yellow. We saw him kicking off his round 1 campaign early this morning with 3 throwaway 8s, a 9.5 and an 8.67. So he's back out in the lineup now, bigger conditions. And Jack Kirby also moving on through for his earlier rides. Saxon Reber opens up with a 6.17 and priority will be in play now. It's great to see bigger conditions. So it's good to have you on board out. Speaking a little bit about, we've been chatting about it since we arrived down the south coast, but post bushfire for you guys down here, getting re-engaged with the community and the kids. Talk to us a little bit about what's been going on for Surfrider.
Yeah, sure. So we've got bushfire recovery grant funding, and we're running lessons for bushfire affected kids that whose families lost their houses or severely mentally affected. We've had the first round of that for the last 3 weeks at Surf Beach near Bateman's Bay. We've had about 14 kids come along each time, and some of them are able to talk about it, some aren't. There's one kid that hadn't been back on a beach since Malua Bay, New Year's Eve, and he's a beach kid.
Yeah.
So there's still a bit of trauma out there, and we're just trying to help them through that, because when you get in the surf, that's all you think about. You put everything that concerns you and that worries you behind you.
Yeah, and it's like we were speaking about last night. We had the mental health movement as well. That the surfing community kind of is that connecting point down here for these far south coast communities. Like you said, still so much trauma. Even 11 months post the bushfire season for you guys, we went through the COVID stuff already as well. So having the Board Riders Club or the surf lessons through Surfriders has been pretty important to re-engage the kids and the traumatised mindsets. As we see Jordan Lawler on the backhand again, he's back into fine form. He's been able to really hunt down some steep sections in the water, and he's going to have to put a pretty good show on because Saxon Reber had the 6.17 opening ride, and Eddie Hamity 4.57 opening wave for him. So Geordie will click on his first score, and Jack Kirby will now assume priority. Of course, 4-man priority in play out the back, so they'll be looking back. Here's the destination wave replay. Geordie Lawler's opening ride. Nice first turn up and over the steeper section. Bit of a check turn for the second, and there's nothing really else on offer for the rest of the wave. I won't put you under the pump too early and ask you for the score, but there you go, straight in, 7.33. You're going to say that anyway, weren't you?
I was going to guess that.
7.33, Geordie in really nice form. So just over 16 minutes on the clock here for heat number 2. And, of course, if you have just tuned in, a very good morning, warm welcome on KO Sports or online at Surfing New South Wales or YouTube or Facebook. There are plenty of options to link on into the live broadcast from down here on the far south coast. And it is, of course, supported by the Eurobodalla Shire and Mental Health 360, something we've been speaking about over the morning's kickoff of action since 7:30, the importance of surf community engaging with each other. And here we go, Jack Kirby, opening ride for him in the blue Rashi, looking to connect with the first section, flicks the fins through, lines up a bit more foam. Nice flare and style for him. A little bit of a flatter turn for the second section, so I think they might maybe look at that lower to medium range scoring. Nothing too critical on offer for his first wave. But yeah, also something that I wanted to bring you in and speak about as well. You have done some work with the Indigenous community down here, also through Surfrider.
That's right.
Yeah, talk to us about the importance of that, because obviously we have Ash Cheadle working with us as well. She's an Indigenous surfer from Culburra. And before you do that, Geordie Lawler up and riding again, goes to the air, nice fail. Fail. It was a fail, unfortunately for him, but tail waft towards the beach. He'll go down. Dare say we're going to see him pulling in some pretty dynamic aerial manoeuvres. And speaking of dynamic aerial manoeuvres, our very favourite Mr. Moffat. Congratulations on another heat win, Dill.
Thanks, Jess.
I mean, we've interviewed you so many times across the series already. At every single start, you seem to just get heat win after heat win under your belt.
Running out of questions.
Yeah, we're running out of questions. But I've got actually a different question for you. You're quite a creative guy, I feel like, outside of competition. What are some of the things that you kind of engage in to get in that creative flow completely outside of competition?
Well, I've been doing a few things lately, which has been kind of fun to open the mind to other things other than surfing. I did like a 6-month course at Ultimo TAFE in visual effects, which was like pretty fun. Something different, sitting behind the computer, like fiddling with things. And then also did like a little ring making class with a guy down in Brookvale, Tom Lane from the 5th Lane, just making some rings, which is a lot of fun too.
Yeah, that's cool. You're such a creative guy, and I feel like if I have got this right, you've shaped a few boards in your time as well. You got a couple of hand shapes in the quiver?
Shaped one. And it's average, but it was a lot of fun to do. I did it with my mate, and we just shaped a couple of like sort of funny looking big wave sort of step up boards, and they're like real thick and real unintentionally asymmetrical, but it was a lot of fun to do.
Oh, good. So obviously, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you're number 1 seeding and you're about 1,800 points in front of Kalani Ball at the moment on the rankings, looking to find that winner spot at the end of the series and get that full accommodation paid for 2021.
Yeah, Kalani's gotten me in the 2 finals that we've had together, so it's good little rivalry we got going there. So
yeah, well, you've had 3 bridesmaids.
Yeah, three
bridesmaids, never the bride.
Nah, not just yet.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you in round 3 coming up tomorrow. So for finals day, you guys will be kicking off, I think, if not the first 4 heats of the morning, then very shortly after that. So good luck going into the next round, Dill.
Cool, thanks so much.
All right, we'll see you for the next post heat. That was Dylan Moffat. He's been an incredible surfer, like you heard him say. He's had 3 bridesmaids finishes, 3 runner-ups in the last 3 events, and he seems to be able to find the 8s and 9s all the way through to the final, and then gets pipped every single time. And as we see, Eddie Hamerty connects with the first section, looks to put a bit of rail work in to make the connection all the way through to this inside. So he's sitting in 3rd position at the moment as we switch back and forth behind the flags. We just lost the end of him, but he's only got 1 wave on the board at the moment, so 4.57. There you go. Saxon Reba up and riding, and he'll get out of that one. So Geordie Lawler, the 7.33 and a 1.43 in his belt, 12 minutes on the clock. Saxon Reba, a 6.17 and a 1.07. We'll wait for those last few scores to lock on in for Eddie and Jack. So yeah, back to the Indigenous surfing. Like I said, we have quite a strong connection with the Indigenous community going around to these events as well. We've had some incredible welcome to countries over the last few events, and you work so closely with them down here in the Eurobodalla Shire.
Yeah, so last year we ran lessons through Shane Werner's surf school. Shane's in this competition, and he runs a surf school out of Browley. We selected kids from Maruya High School who were being rewarded really for attending school and for doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. And gave them lessons for 6 weeks. This was through November, December last year. All very successful. And that program was run with the New South Wales Police as well. They call it the Swell program, where they go in and select the kids and make a sort of an example of them as this is the reward you get.
Yeah, and just engaging them and connecting them with the surf community too as well.
Yeah, exactly. And some of them are still surfing.
Mm-hmm.
So a few of those guys have picked up boards and they're into it. And we feel with the ones we're running now, and we've got 3 more sets of lessons to run next year, again with Shane and up in Mollymook with Pan Burridge and Jeff Hansen at Mollymook Surf School as well. So we're finding that the kids are just glowing in the water. Their smiles, they're just such happy people.
Yeah,
and that's really rewarding to see.
Yeah, and you've got we're working alongside one of your mates as well, Rob Nedwich, pretty infamous fella around these regions. He was telling us some stories last night when we got back to the house about how stoked those kids are and the different level of humour that they bring to the lineup as well, and they give back almost. There's like this exchange of, I mean, you're giving them surf lessons, but they're giving you back this whole other kind of rounded humour behind it as well.
Oh, certainly, especially the Indigenous kids.
Yeah.
They've got their own sense of humour, and it's a real pleasure to be with them.
Yeah, so it's great to see you guys. Like you said, you've copped a fair few things in the Shire down here in the far south coast, and we're so grateful to be welcomed down to the area and working alongside you. It's great to hear a little bit more about the programs that you guys have been running. And at the moment, Eddie Hamerty locked in a 4.97, so he takes himself to the lead. Geordie Lawler still in second position. No doubt he's sitting out there with priority at the moment. If we're not waiting for a score for him, he'll be looking to get rid of that 1.43. Saxon Reba needs a 2.6, and Jack Kirby needs a 6.27. So just under 9.5 minutes here in heat number 2. Coming up, heat number 3, it'll be JT, Jamie Thompson from North Narrabeen, Luke O'Connell, Will Clark, and Liam Hannigan. So the guys will be matching up, looking towards that quarterfinal berth into tomorrow, finals day. So $1,500 prize money on offer for the men's and the women's for the champ and the overall tomorrow's final. And I don't know if you heard about the overall series winner wins the 2021 accommodation paid for the Whistler Surf Series. So going into the start of the qualifying series next season. I guess the importance as well of talking about bringing these events back down to these regions here and allowing the younger kids to come up against these top guys, or even, like you said, Shane Werner.
Yeah, well, there's lots of talent down here, especially amongst the young guys. Bradley's got a hot crew, Malua Bay, Dalmini, and yeah, the older guys like Sean, he's probably pushing 40.
Yeah.
Not Sean, Shane.
Shane Werner,
so
yeah.
He's still into it, yeah, and still ripping it apart. Got second in his heat this morning.
Yeah, and I saw everybody for the Dalmini heat when Matt Hall was in the water. The whole of the community kind of made their way down to the beach there, and all the young guys were biting their nails because he needed a 4-point ride in the last 3 minutes, and then he got it. And I felt like there was just this, oh yeah, the local guys through, the president can do it.
That's right.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably a lot of pressure on his shoulders.
I think there would have been. There was a lot of cheering for him when he took off, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's great to see the local community embracing this stop in the Australian Open Surf Series. Stop number 5. Stick with us. Live action from heat number 2 coming up right after this break.
You've dreamed of places to go. You promised one day. Now, one day is here. New adventures. Wide open spaces. So, you can't travel the world right now. So what? New South Wales is here for you. Let's all reboot 2020. One unforgettable experience at a time. Now's the time to love New South Wales.
Yeah. Say yeah to more power with the Amarok V6 and get your first 3 repayments on us.
Volkswagen.
New South Wales looking at a fine day with afternoon coastal breeze.
You've dreamed of places to go. You promised one day. Now, one day is here. New adventures. Wide open spaces. So, you can't travel the world right now. So what? New South Wales is here for you. Let's all reboot 2020. One unforgettable experience at a time. Now's the time to love New South Wales.
New South Wales looking at a fine day with afternoon close.
Surfers Rescue program is essential, I think, for everyone who's in the water every day. Anyone who has access to it and hears about it, you should probably go and learn a little bit of something from it. So you just have to be aware in the water, and when you train this kind of stuff, you get more awareness of your surroundings. It's even more easy to identify when somebody's in trouble, or to see when a potential problem's going to happen. If you're going to try and save someone just because it's out of the goodness of your heart and you don't have the skills, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Yeah, so everyone should be prepared.
A very good morning. Welcome back to live action here at Narooma Breakwall. You can see the swell picking on up, and we are into day number 1 of the Australian Open of Surf series, the 5th instalment for the series. And live action, like I said, broadcast to you from the far south coast. Myself, Jess Grimwood, joined by my uncle, Alan. Welcome, Alan, and one of the prominent members of the Eurobodalla Shire around the area.
Oh, thanks, Jess. I'm flattered.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you on board. Like we've been speaking about throughout the whole morning, just being really engaged with the community. We see the local lifeguard surfers service, and they're on water patrol throughout the whole event. The guys really trying to keep a lid on things down there. I'm telling you what, these crazy conditions, the Dalmini board riders, guys, the locals, just keeping things held down, and you can see how strong the winds got here. I think it's a nor'easter.
It's a nor'easter. I think it's hitting about 25, 30 knots.
Yeah.
Gusts.
So intense conditions on the beach, and I see Reggae just walk in with his, looks like he's got his fresh blow dry through his hair. It's very, very windy out there, but it's helped to push through a bit of extra swell. At the moment, Eddie Hamerty's out in the lead. There's 3 minutes left. You can see the guys watching the craziness unfold on the beach there. So they're watching the chaos. It's not happening in the water at the moment. It's happening right on the shores. Geordie Lawler's in second position. Saxon Reba needs a 2.6. Jack Kirby needs a 6.27. And yeah, no doubt. The judges, though, super professional panel. They'll be, no matter what's going on, holding down the fort, eyes on the prize, and making sure they don't miss a single wave in action. And you were alongside with me last night at the mental health movement. We had a chat with the guys that are running that, ex-NRL players and surfer Brett Cannellan. You've been speaking about the importance of mental health for the community down here as well. How did you find that presentation last night?
Oh, I thought it was brilliant, especially the story of the shark attack for Brett and his, what he went through after that, sinking down into depression, which was, I didn't know about that, and it was good to hear someone speak so honestly. And there's a lot of trauma in the community, like I mentioned earlier, about from the bushfires still. So it was it wasn't even a year ago.
Yeah.
A lot of people still living in caravans and tents and things like that, and people severely affected. If they smell smoke, they panic.
Yeah. And your wife, Kath, was saying that last night, when you get these trade winds that you guys had this time last year, it's even a trigger for a lot of the young kids, or someone was speaking about that. Yeah, the trigger for the young kids in the schoolyard. So super important, and it looks like it might have been the end of the heat right now. So does round 2 heat 2 already for the Open Men's complete. Unofficially, it looks like Eddie Hamerty has moved on through. Geordie Lawler perhaps gone through in second position, so stick with us. We'll take a short break. Heat number 3 live action coming up at the Australian Open of Surf Series, the far south coast, right after this.
Say yeah to more power with the Amarok V6. And get your first 3 repayments on us.
Volkswagen.
You've dreamed of places to go. You promised one day. Now, one day is here. New adventures. Wide open spaces. So, you can't travel the world right now. So what? New South Wales is here for you. Let's all reboot 2020. One unforgettable experience at a time. Now's the time to love New South Wales.
Say yeah to more power with the Amarok V6 and get your first 3 repayments on us.
Volkswagen.
New South Wales looking at a fine day with afternoon 24 degrees.
You've dreamed of places to go. You promised one day. Now, one day is here. New adventures. Wide open spaces. So, you can't travel the world right now. So what? New South Wales is here for you. Let's all reboot 2020. One unforgettable experience at a time. Now's the time to love New South Wales.
New South Wales looking at a fine day with afternoon 24 degrees.
Surfers Rescue program is essential, I think, for everyone who's in the water every day. Anyone who has access to it and hears about it, you should probably go and learn a little bit of something from it. So you just have to be aware in the water, and when you train this kind of stuff, you get more awareness of your surroundings. It's even more easy to identify when somebody's in trouble, or to see when a potential problem's going to happen. If you're going to try and save someone just because it's out of the goodness of your heart and you don't have the skills, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Yeah, so everyone should be prepared.
Say yeah to more power with the Amarok V6. And get your first 3 repayments on us.
Volkswagen.
You've dreamed of places to go. You promised one day. Now, one day is here. New adventures. Wide open spaces. So, you can't travel the world right now. So what? New South Wales is here for you. Let's all reboot 2020. One unforgettable experience at a time. Now's the time to love New South Wales.
Say yeah to more power with the Amarok V6 and get your first 3 repayments on us.
Volkswagen.
New South Wales looking at a fine day with afternoon 24 degrees.
You've dreamed of places to go. You promised one day. Now, one day is here. New adventures. Wide open spaces. So, you can't travel the world right now. So what? New South Wales is here for you. Let's all reboot 2020. One unforgettable experience at a time. Now's the time to love New South Wales.
Welcome back to Windy City, Narooma, for the Australian Open of Surfing, the Far South Coast Open. As you can see, we've got a wind swept there. This northeasterly is just howling through. It took issue with our tents being on the beach and decided to blow them over the top into the lagoon. Now, we had a mini rescue going on down there. So just waiting to see the final call on what we are going to be doing for the rest of the day. As you can see, our unprofessional team just walking past in front of the cameras. So Jess Grimwood, we're just pretty torrid conditions down there on the beach. It's right into the I was going to say the breath of that wind, but it's more than the breath. It's howling at 40 knots.
Surely, I was going to say, surely it's up around that 30 to 40 knots now, because I was saying it was about 20 to 25. He's been a long time sailor, so I trusted him, but I've got to say it's got to be up towards that 30 or 40. We're seeing the broadcast truck is actually just rocking side to side. It's facing the same direction as the tent, so we're getting towards that point where it's super rugged down here, and it looks like we may have to perhaps go on hold for the weather. Wild and woolly.
Yeah, so we're just going to find out whether we're on hold for a period of time or whether we're going to come back tomorrow. So just stick with us, and we'll be back very soon to give you the rundown on what's going on.
New South Wales looking at a fine day with afternoon 24 degrees.
You've dreamed of places to go. You promised one day. Now, one day is here. New adventures. Wide open spaces. So, you can't travel the world right now. So what? New South Wales is here for you. Let's all reboot 2020. One unforgettable experience at a time. Now's the time to love New South Wales.
as me doing some